15 to 20.
Okay.
Okay, this is my second facilitation, my last, thankfully. First of all, hello, crew.
That's pretty exciting. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I'm very, very excited to just know that we're almost done. Now,
Yes,
I
I
was
agree.
just trying to think about going about a plan to make things easy, since I know some people either have a headache or are tired, exhausted, etc. So I thought that what we could do is just go through for a couple minutes, maybe sort of just do like a round robin kind of style, sort of go through, get like one takeaway from the semester overall. Then I thought that we could sort of go into the paper for a little bit too. Then after that, we could go through the eval, and hopefully the time should go by smoothly. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Does that sound good to you, Bella?
Mhm.
Does that sound good to you, Itzel? Does that sound good to you, Dave? Does that sound good to you? I'm like, fantastic. Great, 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 great. Okay, so I'm gonna start right on the left side.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start with Miss Claire.
Okay.
So with you, what would you say would be probably one or even two things
Mhm.
that may have stood out to you from the semester overall?
So you mean like what we talked about in class? Or
Yeah,
like anything?
exactly, exactly.
Okay. I would say something that I would say a lot of like vocab words, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that's valid.
Like transference, countertransference,
Yeah.
covert contracting,
Yeah.
and like things like that. Because I've
Mhm.
never heard of like any of these terms
Sure.
in social work until we started learning them in class and then trying to apply it in
Yeah.
groups.
That makes sense for sure. Carla, what about you? I'll come to you next. What sticks out for you?
Honestly, I'm just doing a recap.
Sure.
Sorry, give me a minute.
No, it's okay. Take your time, take your
like-
time.
I feel like coming to this class, I just didn't really knew, like, in the sense I kind of knew what was it about though, but it's just like, as like today, like I'm learning like new concept of, I don't know how to pronounce this word, so you can correct me. What was the word again?
Integration?
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
one.
they-
I
yeah,
know
the
you're-
single-
what
yeah,
I'm
the
thinking.
singular.
Yeah, and I'm like, what
Right.
does it mean? But I really appreciated that the professor kind of like went through it. And believe it or not though, like the more I really thought about it, I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, this is kind of related to like my internship. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, honestly.
it's like I'm learning new concepts that I'm like, okay, like this is what it actually means, you know? So I'm like, okay. so-
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, before I get to Itzel, I'll even say like one thing that
Itzel.
comes to mind, at least for me. Take a look at let's see, number 12 here in our paper outline. I'm calling it corrective emotional experience, or CEE for short. I actually found that interesting myself. I didn't really think about that.
Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I take a look, you know, at the main like phrase, corrective emotional experience. Just taking out the corrective part and just focusing on the emotional experience, which I'm actually going to highlight for myself. When I look at that, I try to think about, you know, like the, you know, like the easiest way to sort of just think about it, which I'm actually sort of struggling with at the moment.
With what are you struggling with, Marcus?
Well, just trying to, explain like corrective emotional experience.
Why
Like,
does that make it difficult for you to explain?
I guess because I sort of look, you know, at the phrase and I think it comes naturally, but in
I hear you.
reality, I sort of struggle a little bit
Yeah.
to, you know, try and talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's by the by. I'm gonna go down to itself. In terms of your 1 or 2 points, takeaways for the semester, what comes to mind for you?
I really found the rhino rule very interesting, where you say what you see, because I feel like a lot of us just kind of
Yes.
keep silent, or if not, in terms of using it, we use it wrong.
Mm,
We
mhm.
say what they've been through, what they've been feeling, but not like in the moment,
Yeah.
but rather in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
like
true.
that. Rhino rule really stuck to me.
I just want to clarify for the paper, right?
Yes.
We
Take your time. Take your time.
it's the guide to writing lit reviews in the final paper, right? We're literally just going through and filling out each of
Yes.
those categories. Okay. just wanted to make
Exactly.
sure it's
1 through
correct.
12. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly,
I
here's,
understand.
I was gonna say, even, you know, even someone that I'll give like transit advice, I would even use that as like an outline
Mhm.
and sort of just use that to do your paper, essentially, you know?
Yeah.
Like with all, you know, like everything that we're talking about, whether it's like the bullets, definitions, etc., use those,
Okay.
honestly, to try and just formulate sentences for your
Yeah.
paper.
Mhm.
Easy peasy.
That's a good suggestion. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate that.
absolutely. I'm gonna go over to you, Dave. What sticks out to you for the semester overall? 1 or 2 points.
Well, the thing I think that has influenced my facilitation of groups has been like the understanding of facilitation versus leading, which is like facilitation is rather get like everyone else to do the work and then just be there to support it.
Yeah.
In which the professor uses the tugboat metaphor for like pull people along but don't like lead them, I guess. That confuses me too at the same time, because don't tugboats lead the other boats that they're pulling? But
I think
Very
I
interesting.
feel like in the ways I think in the ways of Dr. Professor Karen.
precisely.
Tugboats tug the other boats.
But dude, maybe they're like right alongside the boats. Maybe I'm just thinking about it wrong.
Maybe
Mm.
you're right.
I feel like
You might be right.
definitely up for
I think
interpretation.
I'm mapping out the illustration too much. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think
but-
that's what
yeah.
stuck out to me the most from this class, because that like kind of that makes me reevaluate how
Yeah.
I look at group work
Sure.
as a whole.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And finally, I'll come to what about you? 1 or 2 points that stick out.
I would say just how to do groups in general, I feel like.
Sure.
Because, like, I feel like everyone's first video, you're going to see a difference with the first one compared to the
Yes.
second one.
Yes.
After meeting with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And I know, like, after I met with him, I was able to understand it a little better. So,
Yeah.
like, he explained, like, not starting, so
Right.
not giving the topic, letting everyone else lead, which I think kind of messed up on, which happens, obviously.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
So like letting everyone else decide what they want to talk about today, or
Mhm.
like not letting other people co-facilitate, you know. So
Right.
Yeah.
And see, you know, that's the reason why, you know, in our readings, I think back in either it was Sean or Jen G, I can't quite remember, but there was like sort of like an image of like a communications style kind of wheel.
Mhm.
I'll try to like show that if I can. It talks about like the different ways to go about sort of communicating with a group, whether it's like in a circle style or an X kind of style,
Mhm.
etc. That's the reason why I tried to sort of go around in a circle a little bit today, so that way you guys could sort of give me feedback in terms of if you guys wanted to go the route that I was going, if that makes sense.
Oh, you were challenging us in a sense,
In a way.
because I was thinking, dang, this is a lot of structure. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I was
lie.
thinking the same thing. But then we also realized in the past groups, Marcus likes structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, you know, I know for a fact that some people, you know, don't like a whole bunch of structure. So that's the reason why I decided to go around, get people's feedback.
And giving us structure.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we go about that and make you
Yeah,
unstructured?
sure.
The structure.
Yeah.
Unstructured the structure. That's a new
Cause
one.
these equilibration, whatever that word is.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yes.
This equilibration. Because we have to do the change work and
That's understandable. Yeah, honestly, I think for me, I think it's really just about just getting more comfortable. Since you guys know that with me, I need to have like some, you know, kind of structure. Otherwise, I get overloaded like very easily. So,
See, I think the thing about structure and what he's trying to get us to understand in this course is that structure allows for the rest of the group to kind of just fall into a pattern, into
Mhm.
like a rhythm.
sure.
Like
Mhm.
they're not
Yes.
pushing, they're not gonna
Yes.
push
Yeah.
themselves
Yeah.
to like for
Look at
any
a
further
different
depth
outcome.
of learning
Right.
about
Mhm.
themselves or
Yeah.
how they interact in the groups, because they're just like, okay, well, I'm just the member, so I'll just be the member.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get us all
Sure.
to actually tap into our actual like potential, I think.
yeah, and like he
Yeah.
said in class, Professor Cameron was like, lower the structure, see what happens.
Happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally
And
just
I-
that.
so-
And I understand
true.
that's what you like, Marcus,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes we
one
have to step out of our comfort
true,
zone.
but not
That's
only
true.
that though, but
I agree
like
with
towards
that. I
the
do.
end, Professor Cameron was mentioning that groups have to kill the leader.
Solicit feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
we need to
Yeah.
encourage like members in the sense of giving them an
Yeah.
opportunity to stand up and
Mhm.
address it.
Mm-hmm.
So while I understand that you like structure, at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like what David says though, like, you know.
And here our feedback is questioning the authority.
Yeah.
And the leader.
No, I hear that 100%.
So when I hear all this
Mhm.
understanding come out, it makes me think about the social microcosm.
Yeah.
And then if we were gonna get deep,
Right.
Marcus,
Yeah.
how do you feel about like if there was just no structure?
Honestly, I think with me, I'm not really sure how I would be able to sort of work with not having like a lot of structure. Whether it's, doing a group like this or doing a one-to-one. Like, I often talk about how I need like a kind of blueprint,
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the biggest thing for me. Like, if I'm able to at least have that, then I suppose I could try to like improvise, I suppose, in some way. And sort of, I guess you could say like unstructured things to a certain degree.
Yeah, and like how I hear you, Marcus, and how Professor Cameron has been showing us all semester. If you have struggled with that, with structure, just start when I started.
Yeah.
Just let it flow. Just
Right.
challenge yourself,
Right,
trying
right,
not
yeah.
to provide so much structure.
Yeah.
And then by providing so much less structure, then it will like allow us to facilitate for you in a
Sure.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
but thinking about it from a what's the word? We use it all the time. The
Co-felicitation.
No, for when you're in practice.
Cohesiveness?
For when you're in practice. Clinical.
Clinic.
from a definite clinical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, I forgot where I was going with that.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I guess I was wrapped up with
You guys
clinical,
seem
bro.
distracted
I
on
hear
the
you.
laptop.
Yes.
Claire, that was an amazing rhino.
It
Ooh.
really was.
Oh,
Nice-
guys.
nice
I really-
observation.
yeah.
I don't know,
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
I would say I was just
You
looking
should-
back
you
at my
should tap
notes.
Yeah.
To this discussion.
Yeah.
Mm,
We can start our
mm.
evaluation
Yeah.
actually.
I
Yeah,
actually,
okay.
I
Yeah,
actually
let me
was
get
just
the
gonna
iPad.
ask about that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Does
gonna
anyone
ask you, so
have,
you have your iPad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
If not, I was gonna try to find it.
No iPad? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, let's take a
Everyone should
few
have it
minutes.
out.
Oh,
Actually, I forgot my iPad.
let's take a few minutes to try to find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
Nice.
Let's go, let's quickly go through our files here and see if we can find this.
Yes, could we all make reference to the checklist for the evaluation?
For
Yes.
sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to
Mhm.
find
Just
it
have to
now.
find it.
I have
Yeah.
the reference right here.
Yep. If you want, I could start.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please
That'll
That'd
be
be great.
splendid.
Yeah.
Work
Okay.
consistent with group purpose. What people do in the group helps members achieve their goals in an adequately focused way. I feel like our purpose, we didn't really have a full purpose or a goal.
No, I don't think for this, no.
Yeah, I
Not
don't think we
particular.
really had a purpose that we achieved
Let's
No.
see,
or goals.
I don't think
Yeah.
so either.
I would agree.
Just to work in our
Yeah.
group.
yeah,
I would say the purpose was that Marcus wanted to gain more insight of what we've been learning in class in a way, and also allowing us to feed back on him
yeah,
of how to work on providing less structure.
right,
It can go both ways,
that's true, that's true,
because you did a great job, Marcus.
thank you.
You did.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'll take number 2, clarity of goals of individual members. Members should be clear and ideally should be transparent about what they're working on, and they should explicitly work on these things in the group. You feel like that we had like the clarity in terms of goals, okay?
I believe we just like kind of re-emphasized what we learned.
Yeah.
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 And I
Yeah.
feel like what we
Yeah.
learned was
Mhm.
a goal that we had in the beginning. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cohesiveness, or connectedness among members and groups will most powerfully promote change work, and change work will most likely only result from members who are interdependent and have developed cohesiveness and positive regard and positive ways of relating to one another. I feel like we were cohesive because we all kind of redirected Marcus, and like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. We redirected Marcus and like helped with, getting him to acknowledge that like there should be like less structure when,
Mhm.
and like to let us all facilitate.
Yeah.
Kind of for you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
And we
say.
all answered the question that you had, which
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, co-facilitation, if members are acting like group leaders, then they have achieved ideal co-facilitation. Power should be shared and distributed more or less equally amongst all group members. I believe we did that, and I
Yeah.
appreciated that
Yeah.
Claire mentioned that, I know that, you know, you Marcus, you like it, I mean, you like it structured,
Right.
and in some sense, I also mentioned, like, quote unquote, what Professor Cameron said,
Yeah.
like, we should kill the leader.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I feel like we did that,
No, it's
and at the same time, like, I feel like we gave Marcus, like, good feedback on just what we think.
I
Mhm.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
That's good.
I appreciate that. Inside, you want to take that one?
I will, thank you. Inquiry. People should be asking more questions and making statements, especially the facilitator. In the beginning, you definitely did ask the question that prompted us to
Yeah.
ultimately say what we're thinking. David has very good questions too. I
Mhm.
feel like we all kind of asked
Thank
really
you.
good
Mhm.
questions
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
mean,
feel like I was more quiet in this video.
Tell me more about that. How come?
I don't know, I wasn't really sure what to say or talk about, honestly.
I appreciate your honesty.
That is valid.
Yeah,
Me too.
same.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Just
I
holding
appreciate
myself
that.
accountable.
Yeah,
Hey.
of course.
Yeah.
What an excellent rhino. We're very on top of rhino.
You
Yes.
know?
Number 6.
That's all you can
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Dave?
mistake making and risk taking without these little might be gained. I think Marcus made the mistake of trying to lead with so much structure at the beginning. Risk taking, I think us deciding as a group to address it was a risk
I agree.
in a sense, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
I definitely see what you're saying.
so, and I think we gained a lot from it.
Okay.
Depth in the work. Something should be learned, discovered, better understood, clarified, or solved. I feel like we went over like clarifying like the rhino rule, and then other terms like that D word. I forgot how to say it.
De-equilibration.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Equilibration.
Yeah, so we went over like different definitions and stuff to clarify.
I shall take A, and this is actually something we talked about today, change work. People should do change work. They should think about themselves as group practitioners and the issues, experience disequilibration, and make the discoveries and create the new understandings mentioned above. People should be involved in the work cognitively, emotionally, behaviorally, and relationally, and should use their thoughts and consideration of their feelings to the extent that they are comfortable to achieve some new realizations, aspirations, convictions, and point of view. Change work should promote new thoughts about behaviors and new strategies for achieving new behaviors. Practicing skills in groups should promote the development of proficiency in these said skills. Do we feel that we did some kind of change work, quote unquote?
There were definitely some real feelings and thoughts being expressed.
Definitely that vulnerability that Cameron was talking about.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
Cameron?
Yeah, I feel like we tried to.
yeah.
Are we
I
good
agree
on
with
that
that.
one?
Yeah, I agree with that. Claire,
Mhm.
wanna take mine?
Yes, 9 is challenge. Supportive groups are nice, but may not be especially productive in terms of learning, growing, developing skills, or getting a project done. Consideration of other points of view is essential to change work. Disequilibrate. Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Disequilibration.
Okay, it's essential.
Disequilibration.
Support is the foundation, but challenge is the engine of change. I feel like, yeah, because we all challenged Marcus, by advising him to not like have our group be as structured as he like kind of wanted it to be, because that's and like we challenged him to kind of step out of his comfort zone. So I think we did.
I'm like,
And then I challenged you guys with like just looking at the laptop, and
Yeah, you did.
I think we had a couple of challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like picturing a phrase now. Let go of the structure.
Yeah.
Number 10.
10.
For what?
process work as needed. Group members should think about how the work is going as
And what
needed
just
to
challenges to
solve
be on task.
obstacles in the group processing. This should happen every so often, even when things are going okay in therapeutic groups. Examining processes take places between members and members, and facilitator helps members to learn about their interpersonal tendencies and cover contract, which tend to evoke problematic reaction in others.
Mm-hmm.
What do you all think?
Process work. I am not actually
I
sure on
mean,
this.
well, I think the place we could start then is identify the obstacles that we face, like some obstacles that we face, just to like get
Maybe.
started with that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Maybe like kill the leader was an obstacle we
Yeah.
faced.
I definitely
Yeah.
think so, and maybe like having like structure, maybe over structuring things perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little bit of a setback.
Yeah, I think we also took a bit of initiative in the moment to like get over that obstacle, that like kill leader. We did that,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
and and we could say that that's processing the work
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
it's needed.
So I think overall, the evaluation, let's go to the questions. How are you different explicitly? How we're all different. What do you guys think?
I feel like we started off the same as our other videos, and then we kind of tried to change
Mm-hmm. I agree.
and
I
like
agree.
take his
I agree with
words,
Yeah.
take his advice.
I agree. And that goes into like, what have you learned about facilitating groups specifically? I feel like now we can actually differentiate a facilitator from a leader.
Right.
And
Yeah.
groups how to do it more
Yeah.
accurately. What can you do that you couldn't before, or what can you do better than you did before?
Practice start without starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's hard.
definitely.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's easy,
Definitely.
like you did a good
No,
job. But
thank you.
it is hard, because especially when like you know you're the leader and it's your
Yeah.
video, obviously
Yeah.
you want
Mhm.
everyone to start talking about
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that's on task, but you know
Right.
you shouldn't necessarily be the one
Right.
to be
Get
like,
the topic,
okay, let's talk
yeah.
about
Exactly.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Mm.
So yeah.
Overall, though, good job, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
good
you.
job.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you
job.
very much.